and I know that Fagundez Diego asked you not to be on the initial 11 on Saturday. Uh, Honestly, we didn't know anything about that until, and the question is, because sometimes we see changes on the starting 11, and everybody
Yeah,
blames you. Everybody
yeah,
blames you. They
yeah, of course.
don't know exactly
Sure.
if you have this kind of stuff. I don't know if you have the same thing with Cecilio, like he wasn't 100% to play. But do you guys? I want to know your opinion of how to deal with this kind of personal um, situation of each people to make your starting 11,
Yeah.
but also where we can find uh, kind of communicated or communication before the game, so we don't have to blame on everything
Yeah.
on Wolf.
Yeah. Well, you can keep blaming Wolf. You're fine. You guys can keep doing that.
No.
That's it. That's an easy narrative. That's easy. You guys can keep doing that. No, it's a good point. I'd be more than happy to sit down with media. If we were talking about it. How do we carve out time to help talk about, why we have certain rosters and why we make certain decisions, or why I make certain decisions in game, or whether that's a 15-minute, 30-minute something throughout the week. I'm totally open to that. Some sort of chalk talk, anything throughout the week to help engagement with fans, with media, even if it's fan led. I'm sure there's disappointment and anger and all those things. And I understand that. Diego, Cecilia, again, when you have 3 games in a week and you have this physical output, that Diego's been our most consistent performer. He's been our best player. And he called me the day before and told me, we had already had that dialogue, and I knew he was in a fatigued state. He's pouring water on his head, laying on the stairs. When I brought him out of the LFC, he was shattered. But that's what Diego is. He puts in everything all the time. And if we had 10 more Diegos, we may be in a different space right now. But he was shattered, and he said, I told him to be honest, and he took a day and he called me the next day and said, I think it's best if I don't start. And I go, no problem, but expect to play. I'm going to need you. You can come in and make an impact. And whether it was at halftime or 30 minutes. So that's, for me, it's always having that conversation with player, and certainly with Cecilio at moments, with other guys. These guys are human beings. They can't just go 90 minutes, take a couple of days off, 90 minutes. It's exhausting. And the last thing I want to do is put someone in a place where they risk injury. But we also need a level of freshness. We also need a level of quality. So all those things play a role in it. And what it does is it obviously gives other players opportunity to also perform. But with Diego and Cecilio coming off, it also gives us quality to bring something into the second half or as needed. Musa needs to play. He needs to gain minutes. Obviously that can help get Cecilio into a position that he's more comfortable with as well. But, game by game, we're trying to do things in a way, or I'd say I'm trying to do things in a way, again, that put our players in the best position to succeed and obviously for us to have good results. And that's the starting point for everything. And the last thing I want to do is jeopardize players based on, fatigue and health and risk injury. And, we've done that a couple times this year, mainly when we are in this 3 games in a week. It's, it would be irresponsible to just keep running these guys into the ground. And, some of them can tolerate it. Diego, again, has been one of our best performers. He's covers the most ground, the most high speed. So, he was at a fatigue state, and I think it made sense. And he knew he was obviously aware of it. We talked about it, and he told me that was a space that he was comfortable in.
Now, this obviously, it seems like you are absorbing all the everything, and sometimes you defend your players. Now, the question that I have, and it's just like, do you have the same situation back in Dallas and Frisco when you went there, that you have to change half of the team, or it was just your decision of the plan you have for the game?
Yeah, again, I think when you have a series of 3 games in a week, that you have to take some, even now, we haven't played 1 game yet, but we are trying to take into account where our guys are, what each game is going to look like. Is it home or away? The Dallas one was challenging. We played Houston, Dallas, 2 derbies back to back. So that did provide challenges, but it's trying to do that in a sensible manner. And, again, having our best players on the field is obviously what we want the most, what's going to give us the best chance to win a game. But, there are moments where we can't just keep putting those guys out there. So how do we have some division of a handful of our guys, and then a couple guys that can put in the work, and maybe we introduce, our DPs. That was kind of the idea against Dallas, to give us some stability, one based on what the opponent was, but also physically where our guys were at. And these things vary, but to your point, it'd be good. I mean, to have that kind of communication with yourself or media and some version of talk, that I'm never opposed to. I think it's educational to hear it from you guys, and maybe it helps, give perspective on what we're facing.